digest. From lane to the new shining ground, echo chants where the legends are found. Heroes carved in the heart of time, we march on through grit and grime. Oh Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire. Oh Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire. Echoes of King and Greaves in the air. Every goal, the sound declares. Heartbeats pound like a drummer's song, marching forward, fierce and strong. We're the ones who rise in the clash. Numbers running in a white shirt dash. History burns in the roaring crowd. Every game we scream it loud. Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire.
Yes, yes, yes. Good afternoon. It's game day. We're all excited. As Tottenham are back again. Tequila's doing hooker hoops in his flat at the moment. He's so joyful. Come on. He said to me, he woke up this morning with a spring in his step and a spring in his third leg, and he just couldn't wait because it was Tottenham.
I couldn't wait, and then I saw Thomas Frank's latest press conference and fell right back to earth.
And then you got the biggest droop you ever had in your life. Anyway, I know it's a bit early and I was in my head. I mean, look, big up to everyone. Hope everyone's welcome to Tottenham Team Talk, the new show where we'll go over all the news, team news, and we'll go over our predicted lineup and get everything discussing about today's match out there. But I want to start on Thomas Frank. There's the Thomas Frank Gate, as I'm calling it, Frank Gate. Look, I've been hearing from people that we use Tequila. I'll just listen to a message now for one of the people we use. Look, we know Thomas Frank is under pressure, and we know he possibly has lost the dressing room. Possibly, we don't know that for sure, but I would say 70-80% are probably against him now.
I think he's lost more than the dressing room, to be honest with you, don't I?
Yeah, I think he's lost the fans as well, to be fair. Do you do you feel that as a manager, right, tonight games become important in a way that a win tonight would give them a bit of breathing space? But is it the manner of that win tonight, Tequila? Do Spurs have to put on other performances? But if we don't see it, then we know they're not playing for the manager. I think Saturday's loss says more about not his tactics, Tequila, but more about the way the players are not playing for him. We saw it in other squads. Are you surprised to see it in this squad, or doesn't it not surprise you? I think the way you're going to go, but does it surprise you with some of these players?
No. I think unfortunately for us, it seems to have just carried across. You know, it's carried across seasons, and now it appears like it's carried across managers as well. I will give a pass to the new players, so Kudus, Paulinho, Simons. Even though Simons is not playing greatly, but what I mean is that I'm giving them a pass because they're new to the Spurs to Spurs. So I'm
Yeah.
giving him a pass. I'm also cutting a little bit of slack off some of the younger players as well. You've mentioned this before. Bergvall looked like he was trying to clap the fans, and he was told no by King Porro, as I'm going to call him now, because he's our master and our
King Porro. I love
King
that.
Porro. He's our master. He's our Lord and Savior, Mr. Pedro Porro, who knows better than everyone else and tells us what to think.
Has he
so
told you
I'm-
what to have for dinner tonight?
Oh,
Has
he's
he got-
I'm gonna open my phone up. There's gonna be a text from him telling me what I'm allowed. He's also telling me what sexual positions I'm allowed to use as well. He's going all out, man. He's dictating everything to me. He's King.
Yeah.
Porro.
Well, he texted me this morning, told me I wasn't allowed to have my cup of tea.
Has he told you you're allowed to eat bacon, Dermo?
No,
he might have outlawed.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm
He's outlawed
not allowed. Yeah, he's outlawed that. He's also
Okay.
outlawed. He's also outlawed us supporting the team, being excited about the team, and
Okay.
because you and me are not true Tottenham fans, apparently,
Yeah, I know.
Keeler, we're not allowed to even watch Tottenham games anymore. I mean, which is totally. I
we're
mean,
not?
I don't know what right
Okay.
he has. Porro, if you're watching, you are a Deutsch bag. But he's look. I get look. You and me were talking about Simon Jordan, right? And I love Simon Jordan. You know how much I love Jim White and Simon Jordan in the morning. Love watching them. If I miss it, I will watch the whole show because I just love the dynamic. It's a bit like you and me. I'm a bit like Jim White, and you're a bit like Simon Jordan.
I'll take that. I like him. I do.
I take the Jim White bit as well. I'll take that as well.
Yeah, he's Jim White's all right.
Yeah, we're talking about Tottenham, and we make no apologies for it. But if you listen to even Jamie O'Hara last night, I want to take a point out of his rant. Can you name me any player out of this team that would get into the 2008 League Cup winning side? I think there's only two. I think there's only one player that would. That would be Mickey van der Ven.
The 2008. So you mean the Woodgate header?
I think Van der Ven's the only one, in my view.
There you go, Dan. Here's a question for you. Who would you choose, King and Woodgate, or Van der Ven and Romero?
I was never a big fan of Woodgate, to be fair.
He wasn't with us. He wasn't with us for long, to be fair, was he? Two seasons, I think. Is that all he had?
Do you know what? I would actually. Can I choose? Can I?
You want one of each? I know you do.
Yeah, is that all right? Can I do that?
Depends on your answer. If we're going to play that, I'll take Van der Ven and King.
That's what I was just going to say. Van der Ven and King. Yeah, exactly. I think Romero is a liability. That somebody on TalkSport said it yesterday. He plays great for Argentina, but it's a liability for us. I think that's the only player, Tequila, that gets into that 2008 side. I really do.
Com's not allowing you to have one. Okay, right. Okay,
well, I'm going to have to.
Well, listen to the boss. So yeah, we have to choose a pairing then. Okay, I'm going to go with King. I'm going with King and Woodgate. Maybe it's just my love of Ledley King. I thought he was so good, so I'm going with King and Woodgate.
I have to agree with you. I think Ledley King is a far better defender than Romero is. Woodgate, I look Woodgate for me. I think Van der Ven's better than Woodgate, to be fair. But I would have to go for King and Woodgate then. If I have to pick a parent, it have to be King and Woodgate. I mean,
Woodgate was a lot more of a classic defender than Van der Ven's all about the pace and stuff like that. Woodgate, much more of a solid defender, I think. But obviously, he didn't have the pace and stuff like that.
But I do feel Van der Ven has been the best player this season for us, actually, out of the squad. If you were to pick the whole squad, look,
I think
other players have been a little bit. Kudus has been there and thereabouts. I think Xavi needs time. Well,
that'd be great in all demo if our manager ever decided to start him.
Yeah, I know. Do you feel also with Frank that tonight's games become so important for him that if we say, look, we went up there a few years ago. Do you remember on the Stellini and we lost? What was it? We were 5-0 down in the first 30 minutes. If we get that tonight. I had a nightmare during my sleep that we were 5-0 down after 35 minutes tonight. Do you think then he'd be sacked on the spot? Do a Martin Yell, sack him at half time? I think he was sacked at half time. I don't think there'd be anyone singing his name, but
Oh, well, Thomas Frank wishes he had the rapport that Martin. Everybody, look, how many Spurs fans disliked Martin Yol? Even if he wasn't the best manager ever, right? We all loved Martin Yol.
I love one thing I love about Martin Yeo was his feistiness on the touchline. Do you remember when he stood up to Arsene
Wenger? Yeah, and Wenger looked scared S-less because Joel was not a tiny bloke.
No, he was the only manager I think had this. Do you remember that song that they made for him? You know, I love rock and roll. They changed it to I love Martin Yeo. I got to dig that out. Yeah, I just feel these players, and I blame Ange, and I'm going to blame Ange here because with Ange he built such a tight knit group with them players, and I still think they're still loyal to him. And you know yourself, whoever comes in after a popular manager, that manager is never going to succeed because he will never get the same relationship he has like they had with the previous manager. I think what needs to happen, Tottenham need to get a big coach. But Xavi wants to come back into football. Do you think Tottenham will? I mean, I've been told Tottenham have already talked to other managers already, so we know where this is leading, Tequila. But say if Tottenham sacked Frank and the board said, right, here we go, here's Xavi as your new manager. How would that make you feel as a Tottenham fan? Would you be excited?
No.
But would you get behind the manager?
I get behind most managers until I feel they start insulting me. And as I'll go back to Ange. One of the big reasons why I decided I had enough of Ange was actually not as much on the football side as you might think. Now, I don't think he ended up being very good for us, and 17th was he deserved to be sacked for that, in my opinion. But I lost respect for him once I felt he started lying to me. And for me, Thomas Frank is very close for me feeling the same thing, which for me is bad news because it's so early on. So even if Frank does turn it around football-wise, if I still think that I don't respect him, I'm not going to be able to support him as I want to. I don't know if that answered the question there, mate. But
it does in a way. It does in a way because you are very much in the mindset that a manager has to be truthful to me, has to be honest with the fans, and don't attack the fans. If you start attacking fans,
I'll tell you what. Yeah, Dermo, maybe I was spoiled, right? Maybe I was spoiled with Martin Yol because Martin Yol for me is still, even though I can look back and take my little kind of goggles off a little bit and realize that he was not the best football manager we had, right? He was all right. He did all right, but we've had better. But he represented Spurs to me that I loved the dude, right? A man crush and all that, right? I really respected him. I loved how he represented us in the media. I loved how he represented us on the touchlines, right? And for me, I've not had anyone I felt that way since. There's been managers I've liked to other ones, right? But now for me, this is going to be if Frank doesn't keep his mouth shut, and I'm not sure he's going to, right? That's going to be two managers in a row now where I've got a problem with.
Poch? Would Poch be another one?
No, Poch I thought was okay. Also, Poch's English was very bad for a long time, Dermo. He had to do it via a translator. So I think that kind of gave him, believe it or not, gave him a bit of wiggle room because he used a translator. Poch, no, I didn't have a massive problem with Poch. I liked Conte. I didn't like his football. I did like Conte because I can respect somebody who stands up for himself. And I thought when we were dealing with Levy and co, that's exactly what we needed. Yeah. We didn't work out. Of course, they ended up butting heads, and we knew there was only going to be one winner when that happens. But I respected Conte. I also had a soft spot for Mourinho, even though he can be a bit of an arrogant jerk sometimes. He could be.
He deserves to be. He earned the right to be an arrogant son of a bitch.
He did.
Earned the right. He's earned the right to be.
I tell you what Jose Mourinho had, right? Standards.
Yeah.
He wasn't going to take it. You saw it in the documentary. He wasn't going to take it. He had standards. And a lot of those players, not all, and you know that a lot of the better players we had back then, like Kane and everything, loved working for Mourinho.
They did. Apart from Dele Alli.
Well,
I feel sorry for Dele Alli in a way, to be fair. And I think we should do a show on Dele Alli and that time, actually, Tequila. We should do a show on the Mourinho years. I think that'd be interesting to do a show on.
Dele Alli obviously was going through mental health stuff, which I can respect. And Mourinho's way of treating players obviously backfired on
Mm.
Delhi. It might have worked with other characters,
Yeah.
but obviously whatever Delhi was going through, which is kind of documented, obviously that had an adverse reaction to him, which is unfortunate. But it might have worked with other players, but obviously that kind of sent him spiraling further down. I'll tell you what, with Dele Alli as well, there was a lot of rumours at the time that he almost saw Pochettino as a father figure. So he must have been. We all heard the same stuff back then. He was, Pochettino was like a father figure to him and stuff like that. And you're going to react badly if your father type figure gets relieved his duties. You're automatically going to be a little bit not against the new manager, but you're going to be a little bit like, well, you've replaced the guy who's really improved my game and who I nearly class as a father figure with Mourinho, who's going to be a much more of a colder character, which he was. Yeah. So, yeah.
I want to say big up to Mark Smith, Coys, big up to Rodney as well. Big up Coys. We've got a Ryan McFarlane, big up from Derry. It says big up Dermot Tequila. If Frank goes because the squad ain't playing for him, then I want some of this squad gone as well. Too many times these players have let us down. Enough is enough. Totally agree. Big up to Brian. Says there should be an reaction from the team tonight if they have any pride in themselves. But I'm expecting them to fold again. I think so. Big up to Colin as well. No, you can't. Yeah, we've done that. Big up to you, Colin. Great seeing the chat pod. King and Woodgate are better defenders than Van de Ven and Romero. Ryan, I agree, but I think Van de Ven's better than. I think he's the only one this year. I think that's been stood up and to be counted. To be fair, I think he's a far better captain than Romero, in my opinion. Big up to Matthew. Yo to you, man. Big up to Wayne Bonner. Good afternoon, my fellow Spurs sadists. Or sadists. Hope you're all well. Break the walls down. Colin said, what about... there's one. We're going to start... We'll come back to that, Colin. We'll come back to that. Big up to Wayne. Kane and Woodgate were superb. Only problem was Ledley's knees were shot.
Yep. They're both injury prone, which is so unfortunate.
And Woodgate's everything was shot to crap. That's so true. And do you know what? Big up Brian says that. And this is from now this fan Tequila, he supported Tottenham as long as Philip Brady has, which is nearly 60 years, 70 years nearly. He's seen it all. He's seen the Bill Nick years, he's seen us get relegated, he's seen the Berkshire. This man has seen it all. And I think these are the times, Tequila. I don't know if this is why I like going looking to the older fans for their experience and they help us through this. And I don't know if you agree with me. The older fans have seen it all, and they're probably more experienced than what you and me are. I hope I'm talking for you as well on that. But he says here, good morning, Dermot and Tequila. He lives in Florida, I think, Miami. So big up to you.
Nice.
I hope that, This man is a legend anyway, Tequila. This is the fella that threw his TV out the window because Ian Walker made a mistake. I mean, that is legendary status in itself. And then realised he had to go down to shop for his missus, got home and buy a new TV. So
there you go, Demo. There you go. Answer this one for me quickly. And you will. I think I know how Wilton might answer this, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Vicario or Ian Walker?
Vicario.
Okay. Let us know what you think, Wilton. That'd be funny.
Ian Walker was the shittest keeper ever. Anyway, he says, good morning, Dermot Tequila. Well, good morning, sir. I am so sorry to see the club I have supported for so many years being torn apart by unreal expectations of some fans. We need to support the players and the manager. I get that. I think me and Tequila, we're not negative anyway, are we, Tequila? We try to be balanced.
I'm called Nick. I'm Dermo. You're generally not. People go the other way with you, which I know sometimes you don't like it. I'm the other way. I just yesterday I was already told I don't belong on your show. That was as close. That was as recently as yesterday, and I was a disgusting fan. So I was called that less than 24 hours ago. So I am called negative. But I mean, the answer wasn't. He's right.
He's right.
He's right with unrealistic expectations of, and he's put some fans, so he's not saying it's everyone. And there are. There's a lot of fans, I think, who think that we're a lot better than we are. And with that you're setting yourself up for a fall by thinking that way. And if you don't think that way and you think that maybe we're not very good, then you're generally called as pessimistic, you're called negative. So you kind of can't win.
Yeah.
Either you're called negative, pessimistic, or you think we're better than we are, and then you end up setting yourself up for a fail, and then you get frustrated and disillusioned because you expected us to do so much better. I said it at the start. I thought we'd finish 9th. So I'm looking at us sitting here in 12th. So if I'm going to grade Thomas Frank on results, he probably gets a C-. He's doing slightly worse than I expected. That's not on performances. That's just results.
Yeah. And look, do you understand when I say we need to look to the elder fans, because they've seen it, or they've seen this being relegated? And I think at the moment, Tequila, to be fair, and I know you probably would agree because you don't use it, I think social media is also, it makes things a hell of a lot worse than probably what they are. And you don't use social media. I know you don't. I do, because of the channel, and because I've seen his response to your question now. It is quite funny. Not sorry. It's just, have you seen what his players Tequila?
Yeah.
I will bring it up.
That's why I asked him.
Yeah. I think social media makes things 20 times worse than what it is. But I feel at the moment, where I get the last part, we need to support the players and the manager. Look, we all support Tottenham Hotspur how we want to see them, but how can we get behind the manager when he's trying, all players, when they're trying to tell us how to support this club? We're not true fans if we boo. We pay the higher tickets prices in Europe. Now, me, for an example, Brentford. Tickets €58. That is probably not expensive, but it's expensive enough, right? If I had a plane fare, which I'm going to have to get a plane fare, right? Just putting this as an example, it would cost me near enough €300 to fly there and back. So it's 150, well, 100, say 150, €160, right? If you book it really, really early. Plus then whatever it costs to get from King's Cross to Seven Sisters. Then you want to get something while you're there on your day out. So something in the club shop. I got a voucher, so I want to use my voucher. You want a few points, you meet up with fellow content creators there, or people you know through the chats and that, and meet up. So you're spending 20 or 30 euro on a few pints. You want something to eat. So that's another 20 and 30 euro or 40. So at the end, by the time I land back here in my house, I've spent out nearly €400 or 300 to 400 euro all round, including the tickets and everything. People have a right to boo. Now, have the right to boo during the game? I understand people that do it. Would I do it myself? No, but I understand people why they do it.
Yeah, Dermo, the difference is that you by all means, you're spot on. There's a difference between you agreeing with it and you saying they're not allowed to.
Yeah, I that's where I find it wrong. Look, I think because we had that Martin Keown thing yesterday with Simon Jordan and Jim White, and he was saying fans like that should stay at home. Well,
no.
What are you? Who are you to tell us to stay at home when Arsenal fans were booing Arteta and the players during the matches when Arsenal weren't doing well, and he was going, no, they didn't. No, they didn't. Well, yes, they did, because I watched the podcast last night where some fella came on. He said, forget the name of the Arsenal player. They booed him during matches. So I don't know what right he has to tell us what to do, but I get it. It's not acceptable, but you can't blame them for the prices we pay.
Well, Keown was 100% taking a player's side, right? Maybe it's, Then again, O'Hara didn't really take the player side, but Keown did. Keown was very much, and he used an example. He didn't say. Notice he didn't say which club. I'm assuming it probably wasn't Arsenal, but for one of the other clubs he played for, and he experienced the same thing, and that is how they reacted. So he's lived through it, I suppose, and that was how they got through the period. So I can respect the fact that he's experienced in it. I'll respect that. But that was their answer. Their answer was that basically the fans shouldn't be there, which is pretty much what Porro's saying. I mean, he didn't say the fans shouldn't be there, but if you read between the lines, he doesn't want. He only wants the real Spurs fans to be in the arena. That's what Porro wants.
Well, tell me what a true fan is. What is a true fan?
Don't know. Ask Pedro Porro. He's the one who seems to know.
I mean, am I not a true fan because I'm from Ireland? Am I not a true Tottenham fan, though I was born in Tottenham?
Okay, right. So Dermo, right. So under King Porro's rules, Lord Porro, you are a proper Spurs fan because you have said that you wouldn't boo the players during the game. Me, I would boo the players during the game, especially if I'd spent that money, right?
Yeah,
I would, right? And whether or not people like it or not, isn't the point. I would do that. It would be within my rights to do that. So under Pedro Porro's law, I'm not a real Spurs fan.
See, I don't agree with that. I think you are a true Spurs fan because it doesn't matter if you boo or not. You are still a true Tottenham fan. We can't get to every game. What gives him the right to? I mean, I wish we could afford the season ticket together. I wish you and me could go to every game with James, right? The three of us to every game, and home and away, and follow the club. But we follow this. We do go to every game by doing what we do in this channel. If you get what I'm getting at, we do go to every game. So we're there. We are true to every Tottenham fan is a true fan.
Also, Dermo, it's also like, and I'm admitting, I've just admitted that I would boo the player if I was that upset. Yeah, but I can admit that it probably wouldn't do me any. It wouldn't do any good. I wouldn't expect for me to boo Vicario and him all of a sudden to play a blinder.
Yeah.
Right. I wouldn't expect that. But I would be unhappy as an emotional creature, right? And a free-thinking creature and an emotional creature who especially for some people who don't earn loads of money, something Pedro Porro will never have to worry about again in his life, right? If I've spent lots of money that I probably can't afford, especially in today's cost of living world, right? I'm going to be upset if I have gone there, spent all that money, and within 6 minutes, the game's over.
The game's over.
I'm going to be damn upset, and I'm going to be an emotional creature, right? And what am I meant to do? To express to them that you've wasted my time, you've wasted my money, you've wasted my energy, you've ruined my evening?
Look,
what am I meant to do as an emotional creature?
Is it a generational thing, though? Tequila. I did when I was a youngster going to Tottenham home and away, right? I never heard booing, right? Never heard booing. Heard a lot of other things, by the way, but never booing. Do you think look, I don't mean to generalize fans, but do you think it's this generation of fans that are coming in? If I go to Tottenham, I don't see the fans of my generation or Philip Brady's generation or Wilton McDonald's generation or your generation of Spurs fans booing. It seems to be the younger fans that are booing, that have come in probably around the Poch era, if you know what I mean. And I'm not trying to finger point at them, but the point I'm making, has a football fan changed generationally over the years? Do you know what I'm getting at? And does that bore out society as well, how society is at the moment? Because I feel society does have a link to being a football fan. I mean, as bad as everything is at the moment, you want to go and watch a day out at Tottenham. You want a good game, and you want to be taken away from that cost of living, how bad, especially the UK is at the moment. No dig. I don't mean to be disrespectful of your country, Tequila, but how bad your country is at the moment. You want to go away. And do you feel it's a generational thing? I think it is. I don't know if you agree with that or not. I do feel it might be a generational thing.
The thing is that yes, you're probably right, but that can also be. You can also throw that at the players, like Porro.
Yeah, that's true.
Since we're talking about Porro a lot,
yeah,
is he 26, 27?
Yeah, so that's fair.
You can't say that he's in football. Yeah, okay, he's middle-aged football wise. He's halfway through his career, but 27, you still haven't got a lot of things figured out at that age, to be fair. So
no, that's fair.
They are also a new generation. I think, again, on TalkSport, they think somebody was covering this. They're also a new generation of players as well. And it seems like, and you've mentioned this before, and probably people like Wilton will probably agree, that I have to be careful how I phrase this. The mentality of younger people nowadays is a bit softer than maybe it was. That's the term I'll use. Softer. There you go. Keep it PC.
Definitely.
Softer than even as recently as maybe 20 years ago. Certainly,
100%.
like in the era we were born, Dermo, the 80s.
Yeah.
Certainly since then, and probably, like I say, as recently as maybe even 15, 20 years ago. Right, it's completely changed, and that is not only the fans who have got a shorter attention span, and you guys know I'm telling the truth. Why do you think videos? What do you think social media platforms like TikTok are so popular? Because they're 30-second videos, most of them. Because that's people's attention. Yeah, well, that's people's attention spans. I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying it's the way that it is. People have got no attention span. You put on a YouTube video nowadays a lot of times, right? If they don't hook you in the first 30 seconds. We all do it, me included. They don't hook you in the first 30 seconds. Well. You change the video. Nobody's got any attention spans, bruv. So, people. I guess the point I'm making is that people in general are more impatient than ever before. Not just in football, in life. We're all just more impatient. We want everything faster. We want our food arriving faster. Everything's got to be faster. Everything's fast food now. Everything's fast. There's no patience anymore.
No, there isn't. Just want to get through a few more. Welcome through more people in. We've got a couple of starred comments as well from Colin. I want to go through them, and then we'll get into a match thought. And then after that, we're going into the predicted lineup, and then after that, we'll just have score predictions. So, guys, we're getting into that. I'm following the model of We Are Tottenham TV. It works for them. Let's see if it works for us. Big up to Knights Republic as well. Thank you for the kind words, bud. Honestly, thank you so much. Very kind of you. Tequila, do you want to say anything to Knights? Very kind words there from him. Big up to you, bud.
Cheers, mate. Glad you enjoy it. You're here a lot, mate. We are glad that we can provoke discussion, which is what we try and do.
That's all we want to do, isn't it, Tequila? We are,
the show,
as I said, we are the Jim White and Simon Jordan of YouTube. And that is the people who are trying to be, and that's what we're trying to do. Big up to Mark Nightbridge as well. An absolute pleasure sharing the screen with you last week, bud. Really was. Need to get you on the channel. This is a good fella to get on. He does spark debate. He's a good fella. So big up to you, Martin. Hope you're doing well. Big up to Wilton. He says that's not a choice, but Vic would start. Walker and Judas should not be seen anywhere near the Tottenham High Road.
Right, he really hates Ian Walker, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. He really does. Big up to Brian, big up to John as well. Says our club need to clean out. We are doing that on Thursday, so do join us for that, John Lee. We really are looking forward to that, by the way. Big up to Anthony as well. Good ale. Big up to Anthony. Big up to Lucky Singer. I want to be steady, ready to push up the pitch, get the attack positions. He must be a Manchester United fan. Big up to you, bud. Colin says I'm not a true Spurs fan.
No.
Some say he might be.
Com is a wannabe Spurs fan. He wishes he could be a proper Spurs fan, but we just won't let him
He's
in.
a closet Spurs fan.
Yeah.
He's a closet Spurs fan.
Yeah.
Some say, we don't know if that's true or not. Keno was Martin Keown was talking about West Ham.
You think he was talking about West Ham? Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, could be.
Big up to it. It says, I'm not a Spurs fan, being born in Brighton, born into a very crazy Spurs supporters family that goes back generations. I've been home and away and nearly in the 90s, didn't have a club to support. Yeah, that's true. Late 80s, I've said this to Keelan, and I've sent him documentaries. We nearly didn't have a club to support. So, Porro, do your history, bud. Wilton, I don't expect players to be booed because they don't have the negative impact. I get that. I understand that. And that is, he does go on to agree with me when I say, is it a generational fan thing? And I think he gets what I was getting at. You do too. So
Com doesn't. Com in the chat doesn't agree with you, Dan.
No,
Boo.
Yeah. He says, I get it. Not a generational thing. In my opinion, people just demand more. You won a trophy last season and you've gone backwards. That I agree with as well. But look, player-wise, back in the day, fans didn't just boo. They started fights in stands, which is not allowed, by the way. I don't condone that.
Again, I want to stress that I agree with everybody saying that booing doesn't help. I never, ever said that it did.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to say is that fans we are people with emotions.
Yeah.
And they're not going to tell me what emotions I can and can't. And also when I can, I can't. They're not.
Yeah.
Then I don't owe them anything. If anything,
No.
it should be the other way around. We have paid
They owe
our
us.
money to go there.
Yeah.
So if I want to boo when I want to boo, I'm going to boo. But I never said it was going to help the team.
No.
But we're emotional creatures. We're not robots.
Yeah, and he does agree with you, by the way. He says too true tequila. So he does it, whatever you were saying, he did agree with you as well, by the way. So Wilton's I like Wilton because he's very, he's very, what's the word I'm looking for? He's a legend, but he accepts people's opinion. I think there's too less of that, especially on YouTube, tequila, where you can't have an opinion. And I think on this channel, we allow everyone's opinion as long as they're respectful. And I think that's the way we've always been on this channel, isn't it? It's the way we want to be.
If you want to look at it just from a much more of a cold and calculating kind of way, like it does it help the team? Is it going to improve our results by us booing the players during the game? Then 100% I will agree with everybody saying it. No, it won't. Because most likely, most people, there's always exceptions. Like I say, there's some characters who will get off on it. Most don't. When you criticize them, they're not going to play better. If anything, especially the younger players, it will make them terrified to make a mistake.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying this is good, but I'm saying that we have the right to do so. This is the argument. We've got the right as emotional creatures who invest stuff to do that. And we're not going to be told by anybody, the manager, King Porro, anyone. I don't care which player it was, right? I'm not going to be told what I can and can't do and when I can do it.
And also him stopping Bergville from applauding the fans.
I
think
that's
out
as well.
order.
Yeah, of course it is.
And do you know what? I've got more respect for Bergville trying to do that, by the way.
Got more respect for him than I do Pedro Porro.
Do you think he played well on on Saturday? I think he was second half. I think he was the only
second half. It was all right,
yeah. He didn't. I think he played well against PSG as well. Him and Archie Gray. I think that's the future in our midfield, by the way, Archie Gray. We played Archie Gray in the position that we bought him for, and him and Bergville seem to link up well together. We will get into the predicted lineup.
Very quickly, Dermo. Can I bring it up?
There we go. Sorry.
100%, mate.
Yeah.
100% with that one.
Yeah. Look, Colin, you tell me, Manchester under Fergie, right? Everyone was one under Fergie. Fergie ran that club like how can I put it? A mafia thing, if you know what I mean. Like he was the godfather and everyone else below them. But he knew the lady in the tea room, he knew the lady in the laundrette, he knew the groundsman, he knew the ticket people. Everyone had everything was right. We're doing this and we're doing it all together. I just feel at Tottenham at the moment, we need another Poch to bring us all together again. I don't know if it means I'm not a fan of Poch coming back, but would I be against it? No. Would I be fearful if it doesn't work right? Would that tarnish his legacy and the love he has from the fans? Yes.
Can I ask you a question, Dermo, on that very quickly before you move on? You've mentioned, I know that me and you disagree a little bit on Poch. You say he's a loser. I value what he did in the league probably a bit more than
that's
you.
fair.
But my question to you is there anyone else besides Poch you can think of who maybe have a chance of galvanizing, that's the word, the fan base and team to unite them? The only people I'm thinking about, so it's got to be somebody obviously probably in recent-ish history, right, who would come. So who you're looking at? What, a Redknapp? I think he's too old.
Too old. Health issues.
He might take it for, like I say, you might take it for 6 months, but he ain't going to take it full time.
No.
So then who else is there who can fulfill that role? Glenn Hoddle? Again, he's a bit too old. I don't think he'll want to go back into management.
Heart problems.
So the world's running dry. Pochettino still in his prime, I suppose, as a manager. He'll be free in the summer. Is there other options? So this is what I mean. If there is other options, tell me who else could galvanize it? Who would be around and willing to come?
Do you know what? I think Poch is the island that would, but Poch is not going to come back to after the World Cup.
No.
I would say I would bring in a former Spurs player, that's been a manager. I tell you who might do. Here's a one out of the. I'm throwing something here out of the back of my head. Robbie Keane.
Not as
Now,
a manager.
Robbie Keane's done very well as a manager. And again, he's won championship, he's won leagues. Not Ryan Mason. I thought he was about to get sacked at West Brom, by the way. Robbie Keane for me. He would get the fans behind him 100% because everyone loved Keano. Secondly, he wouldn't take any shit in that dressing room. I mean, this is the man that decked Edgar Davids in the changing room because he thought he was being a diva. I think you bring Robbie Keane. You bring Roy Keane in as well, because I think Roy Keane would go in with Robbie Keane as a coach. I think you need to bring in a next manager who comes in has to be a bit like a modern day Conte or a modern day Mourinho that take no shit. We need a modern day Fergie.
See,
and I think
Robbie Keane, Dermo. I think Robbie Keane you bring in under someone else, and you grooming for it. I don't think you bring him in as the number one. I think you bring him in as assistant. You grooming to take over from and to learn off somebody who's a bit more experienced than him. Yeah, that's what I think.
But like for Ireland now, I would love Robbie Keane and Roy Keane to take over the Irish side because I know what we would get from Robbie Keane and Roy Keane. But I think Pochettino's Pochettino, I think is the only manager for me that can bring us all together. Look, it doesn't matter about my opinion from when he was manager. And yes, he took us on a hell of a ride. But I just feel, I've always said it, if he had an experienced manager with him as a number two tequila, I think we would have got over the line in a few of them. Probably in the Leicester League, we would have got over the line because he would have had the manager next to him as the experience. You need
Iceman says Klinsmann, Dermo. I think he's
there's a good shout.
Really? You think he's a bit too old?
No, I don't think so. Look, I get Robbie Keane hasn't managed anyone of note, but I think a manager can manage. You've got good coaches around you. Management is about man management. It's about managing is also about you've got to have different things. So management, how you deal with the squad, how you deal with the football club, how you galvanize everyone around you. If you've got good coaches around you, and your main thing as a manager is doing that, then I think you will succeed. But, I mean, there isn't anyone out there, is there? To be fair. I mean, can you imagine Roy Keane walking into that dressing room, Tequila, what he would do?
I'd love to be a fly on the wall when he walked in there.
I would too. I would love to. I would love that. Guys, put in the chat, who do you think if
somebody, I think Com's put Ginlo in. I don't know if he's trolling me because he knows that Ginlo is one of my favourite Spurs players.
Look for me, bring him in as a coach, but I don't think he's good management wise.
I think Robbie Keane is a good shout, but not but as an understudy. I think if you bring Robbie Keane in
that's not a bad shout
with a manager who's ready now and have Keano learn off him. Kind of like what we tried with Ryan Mason, but hopefully a bit better than Ryan Mason. I think that would be good because Robbie Keane has probably got the passion and he'll be respected by a lot of the fans and a lot. With all due respect to Mason, he didn't exactly have an amazing Spurs career. No. Robbie Keane did. Robbie Keane would get the respect of the players and the respect of the fans. I just think that he needs
a couple next to him.
He's a couple of jobs away, if that makes sense. And come back to him in 5 years, kind of.
How about a Robbie Keane and a Harry Redknapp? Even if it's for the rest of the season, would you be happy? Because he would have then an experienced head next to him.
I think for that to work, I think Redknapp would probably need to sign a 2-year one. Yeah. Say 2 years, and then Keano takes over after 2 years. Yeah. I think it needs a bit longer than 6 months. I think it probably needs maybe 18 months, and then maybe that would give Keane a decent amount. That let Keane learn off Redknapp a bit. So maybe something like that. But I don't think to be honest, I don't think Redknapp.
There's Brendan Rodgers. Name's been touted. No, thank you. I've seen enough of him at Celtic. I do not want him. I mean, there was an Australian. I will send you it. Podcast saying there was somebody saying about Tottenham going for Ange Postecoglou again. No, thank you.
Wow, that's my reply to that.
Jurgen Klopp. Look.
Well,
that
yeah,
never happened.
Yeah,
that never happened. Unless they go to Brendan Klopp and Jurgen Klopp and go, here, you've got 500 million to spend.
I tell you what could be a shout, and I don't know if I want this or not. But he's going to be free after the World Cup as well, and that's going to be Tuchel, who is a Spurs fan. He's high profile enough where I can see the new ENIC to be the new ENIC board being like, yeah, okay, right. So he's just come off managing England. He's high profile enough still, got a decent reputation still. He's a Spurs fan, so hopefully that he can relate to the culture of the club because he's a Spurs fan. I can see that happening. I don't know if I want it, but I can see it.
No, that's a good shout. Just not Gareth Southgate. I would love to see Brendan Rodgers here. Fair enough. That's fair. Big up to Riggs THFC. Haven't seen you before, bud. He says, "I love whatever you're smoking, Dermo." Yeah, I will send you whatever I'm smoking. Just give me your address and I'll send it to you.
Go a number.
Mine, I smoke delusional. That's what I smoke. But I try to speak sense as well. I do try to speak sense. Danny, Davey boy, take upon Marco Carrott's another good shout, by the way. He'd done a great job.
Again, is it just a little? Is it
too early for them?
Is it a couple of jobs away? Is it 5 years from now, kind of thing, for Carrick?
Iceman's gone for Klinsmann, Keane, and Defoe. Well, Defoe's already a coach at Tottenham already, I think, for the youngsters, for the youth.
I don't. I mean, Defoe speak. Every time I've seen Defoe on shows, he speaks well. I don't know if I see the manager in him. He does carry himself well. He speaks well, but I don't know if I see it in him.
No, I don't. Apparently, Southgate is free.
Well, then he can take the Ireland job, then, can't he?
No, well, I agree with Wayne. He can stay free. Riggs says that's not delusion. It's insanity to want these managers. None of them even touch the Prem or Championship. But if you want to bring them into a Champions League season, then what are we doing? Then I get what you're saying, but please tell me, right? You're calling me that it's insanity, which is fair, which is your opinion. I'm putting names out there who I think that Tottenham should be looking for now and the future. I know what I'm talking about when it comes to Robbie Keane. I've followed his managerial career. I know what he's done. He does play some good, attractive football. So who would you like then? Put in the chat. Who do you think should, if Thomas Frank was sacked, who would you think is the man to take us forward? And let us know.
I would ask for realistic options only, but
realistic options.
Since we're having fun, go wild.
Yeah, go on. Is the squad good enough, or is it all the manager? Well, Mrs. Tron keeps telling me it's the players. Mrs. Tron keeps telling me it's the players, Dermo. It's the players, Dermo. You can't keep blaming. I agree with that. You can't blame every manager.
I think it's both.
Yeah,
I don't think it's exclusive to one part. No. I don't think Ange was very good in the Premier League, like I say. And Thomas Frank, if you ask people who've seen more Thomas Frank than me, they will tell you that what Thomas Frank is doing is uncharacteristic for him. Yeah, that's what they say.
Yeah. So then, what does that mean then? If it's on, I mean, I wanted him in before Ange came in, right? And I'm not. I did say it, and Philip Brady backed me up. You look back a couple of years ago, I wanted Thomas Frank in because I liked what he did at Brentford. Then Ange came in, and Tequila's right because of my Celtic. I follow Celtic as well, and I had my Celtic rose tinted glasses on. Maybe I wasn't seeing what everybody else was seeing with Ange, and I get that, and I think that's a fair comment to make, and it's a fair comment to make. If you look at this now, I think last season in the cups, semi-finals of the League Cup, winners of the Europa League, I think we got to the 4th or 5th round of the FA Cup. If we finish 9th, Ange stays as manager. And I know, Tequila, you weren't his biggest fan, but I think...
I would have been fair enough. You're right. And I still wouldn't have respected Ange because I didn't trust him anymore. That part of me would have remained. Yeah. So I still might have actually wanted him out for those reasons, but I would have been realistic enough to accept the fact that football-wise, finishing 9th and the Europa League would not be grounds to sack him.
Yeah, I get it. So because he finished 17th, that's a sackable offence in itself. Yeah. Now, was he given assurances that, or did he get told, well, you're going to be sacked at the end of the season? Why was the comment made season 2 at season 3 is better? Was that a dig at the owners because he knew he was getting the sack? Do you know what I'm getting at?
It could be that I mean, he's claimed in interviews since when he for that brief 38 days he was back in the Premier League, 8 games. He did say or indicate that he kind of knew he was getting fired. So then, to answer your question, Demo, if he knew he was getting fired, why did he make that comment? A last ditch attempt to try to win some kind of favour with the Spurs fans.
I think there was a lot of favour with the Spurs fans. I think he won over the Spurs fans. I think they were willing to forgive him for the season we had because he won us a trophy. He's the first manager since Ramos to win us a trophy. So anybody's going to do that is going to win favour of the Spurs fans. I think that was a dig at the fan. I think that was a dig at the owners, dig at Levy.
Could have been.
Now we are where we are. Look, for what I'm being told, he is under a hell of a lot of pressure. So we'll have to see what happens. We'll go through for more and then we'll get into today's game, guys. We've got Colin sent Eric Ten Hag. Look, he's free. He's free. Wilton says, I'm with you, Tequila, on this, but all names mentioned are just capable of turning us around the state the club is in. Let's get Zidane, guys. Yeah, we got more chance of getting Zinedine Zidane than Kelly Brook knocking on my door.
I did tell the fans that they can go crazy. That is crazy, but by all means, go crazy.
If Zidane becomes our manager, I do stream butt naked. I mean, that's not going to happen.
That as well. Add that to the Rodrigo claim. We've got them all clipped.
Right. We've got a couple of them all going in. He was asked, what about Alderweireld and Jan instead of Ledley King and Woodgate? Oh, that's a tough one.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think you probably do have to go with Jan.
Yeah, you would.
Even though I can't help it but think Ledley King is a better defender than even those two. But as a partnership, they were kind of unrivaled, weren't they?
I think Ledley King's career was so cruelly cut short.
I'll tell you, Ledley King could have been one of the best defenders in the world, man. I mean, just imagine what he if that body would have held up. Just imagine.
He had everything. What makes you think any of the players would respect Xavi? I don't think. I
don't particularly, to be honest.
I don't. Yeah, I agree. I don't think they would. To
answer Knights Republic, I'd bite your hand off twice for like Emery. I would have taken him years ago before he joined Villa.
You've always 100%. Said that. To be
always, Demo will back me up. Yeah. I've always said that. I would have been all over him. And I think he would have been really good because he'd have a bone to pick with Arsenal, how they treated him. He could have galvanised us in a lot of ways because he would have hated Arsenal as much as we do. I would have loved Emery.
Okay, here's Ritzy. Like, personally, I would like to get Xavi. I would love to get their managers in, but would Xavi come to us? Glasner's an interesting one. He's outspoken at the moment against the Palace board. I think he's looking to get out of that job. Do you think Tottenham, if they are going to sack Frank, will have to get a manager in there ready to walk into the job? It's the only way it would work for me. I don't want this interim manager shit. I want manager there, like we did with Conte, like we did with Nuno and Conte. Nuno was sacked, Conte was in.
See, the difference between Glasner and Frank is, even though Glasner he would be coming from Palace, of course, he won stuff with Frankfurt. He's won the Europa League with Frankfurt. He got them into the Champions League with Frankfurt, which is quite a I know we know the Bundesliga is not as high quality probably as the Premiership, but it's
probably one of the best leagues in Europe. Apart from
it's probably third or fourth. Yeah, he's up there. Yeah. So I easily would have taken Glasner. I'd take him now. I think he's a better manager than Frank, but he's not the most. He's also a little pragmatic as well. And should we just learn by now that we're just going to have to accept that half the managers that are out there are never going to fit in with the way Spurs want to play?
Yeah,
it cuts 50% of those managers or however out of the running. And you might say, well, beggars can't be choosers. But rather than we keep on, we get Glasner, and then he's Nuno Mark III. We don't create enough, and especially with our lack of attacking players. Is it just more of the same, Dermo? Is it just going to be more of the same?
It's going to be interesting, Tequila. It is going to be so interesting. Big up to everyone that's watching. If you are new, do hit the like, do hit subscribe. We're on the march for 2,500 before Christmas, and we're looking to get to 2,000. We're looking to get 3K before the end of the season.
Demo, can you bring up Matthew's last
yeah, of
comment?
course I can, bud. Of course I can. I'm coming up there. There we go.
Sorry,
Oh,
I
yeah,
was about to do it for you.
you can do it, bud.
The thing is, Matthew, with that is that you think that they would respect him. It makes sense that they would respect him, but these players have showed time and time again that they're willing to throw these managers under the bus.
Yeah.
So whilst Xavi was an excellent player by all means, these players seem to think they know better than all these managers who come in. We know that Ben Davies and co. many years ago went behind the manager's back and tried to get him out. We've heard similar rumours even as recently as a couple of days ago that they could be forming a mutiny, if that's the word you want to use, against Thomas Frank. So I can't answer it because I'm not in the dressing room exactly, but I can easily believe that, yes, these players won't respect him.
Yeah. Yeah, I would respect that. You know that. You and me would respect that, but I think some of these players wouldn't. Look, I just want my club to be my club. It's our club at the end of the day. I agree with John Lee. Yeah, here we go. Here's the look. Yeah, okay. Yeah, fine. I've got nothing else to say about that, by the way. John Lee says, I don't care who's coming to our club. Our coach is going to same. Going to same. Ange system is fast style with win tactics. Thomas Frank is like physical plays. We don't have physical play. This is the problem. We've got a manager coming in with Ange type players, but you need a manager to come in to fit that style. And then Davey Boy says Riggs THFC. No, Frank is not the man. But what else can we do at the moment? ENIC, yeah, I agree. ENIC is the problem. Look, we are going to move on, guys. We are moving on now to the match tonight. Of course, Tottenham are away at Newcastle in the latest round of the Premier League. We're going to go through the stats, the team news, and our predicted lineup, guys, before we finish. Right, guys, this is it. Tequila, we have played Newcastle 60 times in the Premier League with 8 draws, but Newcastle each wins 27 wins, 15 home, 12 away. With Spurs 25 wins in total, 16 at home and 9 away. Not great reading if you're a Spurs fan. This is our season stats, Tequila. Newcastle in 13th, Tottenham in 12th. 5 wins, exactly the same. 5 wins each, 3 draws each, 5 defeats each. XG per 90, Newcastle have 1.33, Tottenham have a 0.92. So not great there. I have got a question about our league position. It was mentioned on TalkSport this morning, Tequila, after this. So I've got a good question on that one. This is Newcastle's form guide, Tequila. I mean, look, Newcastle, only, I think, 2 defeats in the last 5, but they did win their last 2 against Man City and Everton 4-1. That's worrying for me, but they're unbeaten at home in the last 6, Tequila. They haven't lost at home in 6 games. Tottenham's now form is dire straits. Only one win in the last 5. That was back in October, our last win. So we've gone through the whole of November and then we start December without any wins. It's shocking, isn't it? To be fair, it's shocking form. Last 5 games here, Tequila, we've only beaten Newcastle once in the last 5. That was back in 2023. Is there any comfort? I don't. We might get a win tonight with all these stats.
Okay, so let's again. I'll try to take my Spurs hat off. Right? Do I think they have better players than us, man to man? Yes.
Yeah.
Do I think they've got a better manager than us?
Yes.
It would appear so. Yes.
Yeah.
Are their home for? Are they much more united as a fan base and playing at home? Yes.
Oh yeah.
Are we kind of at our lowest ebb right now? So confidence is going to be as low as it probably could be. Players hate the fans. Fans hate the players. Manager hates the fans. Fans hate the manager. Yes. I'm looking for a positive, Dermo. If you want to throw us one, you're the positive one here apparently. So if you want to throw us something.
There's some good beers and there's some nice women up at Newcastle.
Okay, so the players can stay off after they lose and they can go out clubbing.
The nightclubs are
before they head
great in
back.
Newcastle. That's the only positive I can give. Been
they'll-
up to
they'll-
Newcastle a few times, by the way. I had great
Yeah, I've
times
gone.
up there.
I used to live around there for a year or so. So at least they'll be able to get some nice cheap drinks in them after they lose. So yeah, guys. I mean, I'd bite your hand off now for a draw of any kind. All I'm really hoping for is a little bit of fight and performance. I expect us to lose. We could even lose heavily, but I want to see some fight and determination, even though I know that it's most likely going to be a loss. But I want to see a bit of fight, if nothing else. That's all I'm asking for, really.
Referee tonight is Thomas Bramwell. Assistant referees Simon Burnett and Nick Greelhall. Anthony Backhorse House is the fourth official, and Paul Turney is the man on VAR, which stands for a visitor Arsenal reaction. If you do want to watch the game, what you watch it here on THFC Till I Die, turn down the commentary and leave the driving to me. If you're in the UK and Ireland, it's on Sky Sports Premier Sports. If you're in Australia, it's on Stan Sports. In the USA, it's on Peacock. Now, Tequila, can you please give a big shout out to Anisat Qatali Prince that is bored at the moment? Sell the channel to him. Go on. It is on Bean Sports Connect, but we do we are trying to look for a sponsor, and if any Qatari. So go on. Do the sales pitch, bud.
You want me to sell Qatar our channel?
Yeah, go on. In unique in Ange Postecoglou.
As Ange Postecoglou, you want me to sell Qatar?
Yeah. Go on.
Oh God.
There's a challenge for you.
Got to be careful what I say with Qatar, haven't I?
Yeah.
Give me a bit of time on that one, Dermo. I'll get back to you.
All right.
I need to think about it.
And if you're in Argentina watching the game, because of Romero, by the way, it's on Disney Plus Premium Argentina. Now the predicted Tottenham team uses all players that were available for Fulham are ready for Newcastle. Cristian Romero has served his one-game suspension and is available. Tequila, the injury license is Madison, Kulu, Dragosin, Solanke, Basuma, and Tiki, all with knees. Ben Davies, I think, was back in the squad. I think Tataki is now training again, but not much fit. Dragosin is getting there. No sign of Solanke coming back. And Kulu, nobody knows about Kulu. Kulu's definitely just disappeared off the face of the earth. I don't think we won't see Kulu again, actually, this season.
What is happening with Solanke, Dermo? Because Thomas Frank said he'd be back by the end of November, and we're past that now. So what's going on with Solanke?
I don't know. I do not know. I really don't know.
Frank was saying he'll be back after the international break. Well, okay, so we're well past that now.
Yeah. Big up to Queen Ellie. Big up to you, Ellie. Hope you're doing well, honey. And cheers. Big up Dermatron. Please call in the chats, please. Please, please all in the chat. Please smash that like button. Big up to you, Ellie.
Cheers,
Ellie. Hope you're doing well. And drop me a WhatsApp. And we'll get you on as a guest. Great to have you, Queen Ellie, back on again. Yeah, I know, Tequila. It's getting this Kulu thing for me is also bugging me as well. What are they doing with him? That's bugging me as well. But look, it's not as bad as the injury list we did have. This is my predicted 11. I've gone with the Vicario in goal. I've gone with your Doggy Romero, Mickey van der Ven, and Jed Spence. Changes from the Fulham game. I've dropped Porro. I've dropped Porro for Spence, put him on the right. I've gone with Bentancur as a sitting number 6. I've gone with the midfield 2 of Bergville and Gray. And then at the front three, I've gone with Simmons, Kudus, and Kulu. Or I might play a diamond, put Simmons in the 10 and play Kudus and Kulu up front. Tequila, what do you think of that?
No, at least you've got Simmons starting, which Frank doesn't seem to want to do.
Yeah.
So I agree with you on that one. I'd probably play I would play a 4-3-3, but I'd probably play a number 10 instead of Bentancur. So I'd put the number 10 probably as Simmons, and I'd probably put Odobert on the left, believe it or not. I actually think from what I've seen this year, Odobert probably is the best choice at left wing.
Yeah.
He's not been amazing.
No.
Well, I think he's shown me little glimpses that maybe if he gets a proper extended run in the team, he could maybe grow and actually do a half decent job, maybe. So I'd put Simmons behind them. I'd have Bergville and Gray as the 2 midfield. I'd have Simmons behind the front 3, and I'd have Odobert on the left. Other than that, I think that's pretty the same as what I'd do.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to do something. Okay. There we go. I'll do that one. Sorry. I'm just doing something. Just give us 2 seconds.
What's this com saying about the Qatari prince's runoff?
Yeah, because we're waiting for you to plug the channel.
You want me to insult the Qatari prince, don't I?
No, I don't want you to insult him.
He might send goons after me. Very, very
I
expensive
want you to
goons.
praise him and tell him why we're worth investing in. Come on.
Do you mean the club? Do you want to sell the club or the channel or both?
The channel. I want him to come into the channel. I want it to become THFC, sponsored by Qatari Airways.
And what if he says to you, you have to cover their league? Would you do it?
Yeah, I'll do anything for money. I'm shameless.
There you go. That's on camera.
Wouldn't you? If you were getting £1 million a show.
I'm about to say it would depend on the amount of money, but considering who we're talking about, then yeah, probably.
Yeah, if it was good money, of course I'd fucking do it. Okay. Oh, this is why I love doing shows with you. You bring out the funny side of me. This is Rain's lineup. He's gone with the Christmas tree formation. He's getting into Christmas early, but do you like it, Tequila? He's gone with Porro, which I think Porro needs to be dropped tonight. Sorry.
Yeah, we're not very happy with Porro right now. So
no, what do you think to that lineup, bud?
I mean, it's not that dissimilar to yours, really. He's got Kudus and Simons playing as 2 10s. It looks like he's not putting them wide. So basically, it's very similar formation to you. He's just got the 2, I suppose, wingers or wide forwards. They're playing more as number 10. So he's playing 2 10s behind the front man. But it's not that dissimilar, really. He's just playing it. The formation is just a bit narrower, really.
Yeah.
So it's. I still. I don't like Bentancur and Paulinho together. That's just my personal preference. I think I'd rather see Gray and Bergvall there. Although, where do you play Paulinho? I mean, it's not bad. Like I say, I just prefer the 4-2 kind of the 4-2-3-1. I always have, dude. So that's just personal preference, man.
Yeah. You see what he's put. Look, I wouldn't even do that for £1 million. I wouldn't do that. I'm sorry. I really wouldn't.
Wow.
Yeah, I wouldn't even do that. I mean, even you would respect me for that, Tequila, to be fair.
You have to pay more than a tenner, Com.
Yeah.
That's a bit stingy, bro. More than
100. Maybe 100 or
100, yeah, 100. There you go, Com. Get your checkbook out. 100.
Yeah, get your checkbook out, bud. Look, right, we're going back to here. Come on, Tequila. You can get out of it now. Qatar being caught, right. The Qatari go on in Ange Postecoglou's voice. How would you sell the channel to him?
How would I say the Spurs, mate? Well, firstly, they need to get me back in charge. Then I should be able to attract any investment from anywhere, because I play the best football there's ever been, mate. But to the Qatari prince, if you're watching, you need to support THFC till we die. Dermatron is going to be my assistance manager. That Tequila, mate. Nah, he's going to sleep with the Wallabies, that Tequila, mate. Don't want no part of him. That guy, Com, the Man United fan, we could use a new keeper, mate. He can teach Vicario some stuff, mate. Vicario, mate, now we'd replace him. So, yeah, come invest in Ange Postecoglou, Ange FC, till the end. That's just who we are, mate. There you go, don't we? Put me on the spot there, bro. I had to try and create something.
That was fucking funny. I'm gonna, Colin, can you clip that? Please clip that, bud. Please just clip that. That's worth going on. That's worth its own show itself, Tequila, to be fair.
As long as I can pop you, Dermo, it's worth it just to get a laugh out of you, my friend.
Oh god, that is the best thing ever. Oh no, he can go and sleep with the Wallabies.
Yeah, he hates me, mate.
Oh god, pretty good right there. Pretty good right there off the cuff. Yeah, it is, but
I just had to try and come up with something quickly.
Yeah, go on.
No scripts here, guys. Dermo just says go do it, and I just do it.
Yeah. Look, we're pretty good at inventing stuff up in this channel. Yeah, that's only the second time somebody's nearly passed me out. The Cuba tried it once and then they nearly died. You nearly did the same thing there. Now I've got some news from my source of people we used to kid on Kulu. Kulu's been out since suffering patella, a knee injury. I was there for the Palace game when he did it, for which he underwent surgery after last season's Europa League final. He has recently resumed training on grass during the international break, a positive step forward in his recovery. Frank has indicated there is a good chance he could return before the end of the year. Also on Solanke, you're asking, manager Thomas Frank has said he won't rush the striker back until fully fit. So Solanke could miss more matches beyond the end of the year. So this is where January comes important. But look, we're going to end on this. I've got 2 questions left because I have another stream to get to 5. So we're going to end up here. And do join me at 7:30 at 8 o'clock with the watch. And I might even go on a bit earlier, guys. I might go on a quarter to 8 and have a good build up to the Newcastle game. Tequila, firstly, it was talk. I don't know if you heard on TalkSport about Newcastle and Tottenham being the top 6 side, but do you know?
I think I might have seen something similar.
Which club for you is a? Go on, that would be freaking hilarious.
If you set up a new advertisement, I might be convinced, depending on how much money, to do the advert as Ange.
Yeah, please, just please make that happen. I'll even copy in with your column. I put 50 quid into it as well. Please just make that happen. Oh, please. Please make that happen. Who's more for big top 6 side at the moment? Newcastle or Tottenham? Because Simon Jordan said if you look at the legacy part of it, it's Tottenham because of their history, their legacy, the push and runs, the way that we're a little bit with Tottenham are of the past were very romantic type of football. Newcastle, they're in the middle of the city, they've got the fan base, they've got everyone behind them. Tottenham were the original top 6 to get the Premier League going, Tequila. At this present time, I think Newcastle's more of a top 6 side than Tottenham at this present time.
I think that's pretty obvious. If you look at their recent years, they've qualified for the Champions League via the league. Yeah, I know we've done it, but we didn't via the cup. So via the league, they've managed to do it. They fell away a little bit since, but I mean, the infrastructure, I don't think they're a bigger club than us. But they are a big club. They're just in a... Do you remember when Jermaine Genius called them a goldfish bowl?
Yeah, well, I'm not surprised. I think they are in a way.
And yeah, he was saying it, and he was being a little bit naughty because I don't think he left with the best of graces with the Newcastle fans. But the point he was making is that it's the club and that city are intertwined. They don't share it with anyone, Dermo. It's not like in London where there's so many of us. They own that. They own that whole city. So it is a massive club with massive fan base. Yeah. The only thing that lets Newcastle down is the fact is, and I'm going to be brutally honest, I lived up there for a year, so I do know what I'm talking about. The climate's not very good. It's cold. No. They won't have to worry about this, but obviously the minimum wage is lower up there, anything like that, right? The average pay is lower up there. Players obviously don't have to worry about that part, but it's a long way from like London. It's a lot. It's the other side of the country from London, right? So it's a long way from that. And Newcastle itself, don't get me wrong, is a very nice city, but it's not the attraction to foreign players, and the climate really works against it. So they're always going to struggle, I think, to attract the tippy top players. They've got very good players, and they've brought in some great players like Isaac and Tonali. Tonali, we know he had his problems off the field, but just football wise, I would love to have Tonali in our team. Dermo.
I would love to have Joe Linton.
And the player I always remember, Jack Nicky was the first one who talked about this guy many years before he went there. Bruno Guimaraes. They would wipe the floor. They would wipe the floor with our midfield, right? There's levels to this. There's levels to this.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, I mean, Newcastle are ahead of us, I'm afraid.
Sadly.
and they're a much more stable club. Eddie Howe, there were calls I think last year for him a little bit, but overall he's in quite a secure position. He won them the League Cup, of course, their first trophy in God knows how long. I'm very jealous of their team, Dermo, I must be honest, but unfortunately they are more likely to break in than we are.
Yeah, I feel sorry for well, I don't feel sorry for them, but Newcastle fan things must be annoyed because you look at Blackburn and you look at Chelsea, they had no restrictions on spending. Newcastle have all the restrictions in the world and they can't spend how they want to spend. And that I feel it's right for football, but I think Newcastle fans feel that's a little bit unfair to us.
It's right for football, but if you're a Newcastle fan, you're looking at you're probably looking at it's just like, well, if this would have been a couple of years earlier, then we could have been the next City or the next Chelsea. But you're right. Yeah. I don't want to see another state-owned club, Dermo. That's why when
I agree with that.
When talking about who takes us over, we've had this conversation before. Yeah. I'd rather it not be state-owned. So,
but it's going that way, I think. But I agree with you. Look, it's a conversation I think we should have, Tequila, as well, especially just before the transfer window as well. I want to say big up to AK Shegs as well. No one cares about Newcastle. Every team in the Prem wants to beat Spurs. That's so
true. Trolling me again. Yeah,
what's Colin saying this time? What are you talking about, Tequila? They're signing Santiago Moraes in 2005. And here's David Clark, my own nemesis. Says, surely not. Spurs fans think Gray's next Franz Beckenbauer, Bovo the next Gascoigne, LOL. Nobody said that, David.
You said that, David.
Yeah. He's in stirring the pot again. He likes to. He throws a hand grenade in and walks away laughing. Big up to you, Dave. Hope you're doing well. Well, guys, that is Tottenham Team Talks. We've gone over the news. We've gone over the team news. We've gone over a little bit of stats as well around the game. Tequila, look, let's go for it. Score prediction, bud.
I'm hoping it's not going to be the 5-0 that we saw a couple of years back. We are shipping goals for fun, Dermo. Yeah. And that's the thing that I think none of us really were ever expecting under this manager.
No.
We never thought that we'd be shipping so many. At the start of the season, Dermo, we were talking about it and we were saying, oh well, at least we won't score many. We both said that. But then we thought
we'll be watching boring football, by the way.
Well, right. But from one team, for the Spurs team, I wasn't counting on them smashing us 3 goals every game. But for some reason, it's not only do we not create anything, but we're not even solid at the back, and that's the thing that I personally wasn't expecting. I thought that we would be harder to beat, but we're not. We're not hard to beat.
So, what's your score prediction?
I'm going to go 3-0 Newcastle.
I'm divided because my heart's telling me one thing and my head's telling me another, and I don't know which to follow. My head's telling me that we might get smashed up there, and that might be the end of Frank tonight. Would that be a bad thing? I don't know. My heart's telling me we might shock everyone, do what Spursy thing and actually win up there. Wouldn't surprise me. Right. My head prediction is I'm going with everyone else. I think it'd be a 3 or 4-0 defeat, 4-1 defeat Tottenham because we are leaky as local as the Irish water board. I mean, that can't fix a leak, nor can Tottenham's defence. My heart is telling me we're going to go up there and win 2-0. You know me, Tequila. I never back against Tottenham. Even then, you know me. Even against in the roughest of time, I'm always backing the team. Do you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to back the team. I'm going for a 2-0 Spurs win. I cannot back. I respect people that have the guts and have the intelligence to forget the heart and go logical.
Well, no,
you know me, Tequila. I can't do it.
You can. They don't have to be mutually exclusive. You can say to me, Tequila, I hope we win 2-0.
Yeah.
That doesn't have to mean the same thing as what you think. What you think and what you hope doesn't have to be the same thing.
Look, I would love us to win tonight, but our defense is, I said, it's as leaky as the Irish waterboard. I mean, there's more leaks in that than there is in our top defense. Look, I think any sort of defeat tonight.
Dermo, there's more leaks in our back line than there is at Old Trafford. Sorry, Con, you deserved it after those comments.
But I think, Kayla, it's going to be the first 5 minutes is going to be interesting, or the first 15 minutes.
God.
How that's going to tell us everything we need to know.
You do remember when Newcastle did hammer us, how many they were up in those, that was another game where we were like 3-0 up down in like 10 minutes. Do you remember that?
Yeah, we
that
were
was
1-0 down within half hour.
Yeah, and that was the same match where Lloris refused to, apparently the rumours are that he refused to come out for the second half.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I do you know what? Yeah, I fear tonight. I fear for tonight. I think if we do lose tonight, Frank needs to go. I think it would be ironic, wouldn't it? I think it's ironic that he may get sacked at the Brentford game. We lose to Brentford, and that's the game you get sacked.
Yeah, I think if we lose to Brentford, that's probably it. I do think that. Yeah,
but it depends tonight. If we lose bad tonight, then I think he might go. Let's go through the few in the chat. Big up to you. I can't even pronounce that, Bod. I'm sorry. I'm going to call you AB. I'm sorry. That's Mr. AB. He says, I think they've got to get rid of Benny since he's slowing down Bergvin and Gray's growth. Bentancur can't shoot, can't pass, can't dribble, can't run, can't do shite. Can't see forward runs. Totally agree. Doesn't even force a vote. Totally agree with you. He needs to go. David Clark, great show, lads. Great show. Thank you very much, David. See, he can be respectful to kids. He can be respectful. But I had it at Newcastle 2-0, but now Newcastle have 5 players missing. I say 2-2. Yeah, Newcastle have players missing tonight.
Which players have they got missing?
I'll find that out before the watch along. I will get that information. Wayne's going for 3-2 Spurs. Column's going for 5-1 Newcastle. Frank sacked at full time. That'd be a good match reaction, wouldn't it? Breaking news. Thomas Frank sacked.
No, it wouldn't, Dermo, because we'd have to somehow transport you to a bus or ring up James to get him to come on from a bus. That's what I'd have to do.
Yeah. 5-0 Spurs. 5-0 Spurs. I'm still going to start Walmart and Burn tonight in my fantasy team. I've got Walmart in my fantasy team too, by the way. Hated, adored, but never. You're never ignored, Colin. You're always part of this channel, Bod. I think Spurs. I don't think Spurs will score 2 unless they play 4-2-2-2. Sitting, they've got the boss formation, as I call it, with 2 strikers. I totally agree, AB. Totally agree. But Tequila, that has been Tottenham Team Talks. I've enjoyed this one. It's been fun. We are back on Friday with Tottenham Team Talks for the Brentford game, so do join us for that, guys. But yeah, join me later.
When are we doing our analysing the squad show? Thursday?
Tomorrow night. Thursday night.
Thursday night. Okay.
Thursday night. We've got the fan show tomorrow night and Thursday night. We got that tomorrow night. It's our members fan shows. You are a member, you get to come on and join us.
So yeah, everybody in the chat, grab a membership if you want to come on tomorrow night. It's never too late.
No, 99p, 99 cent, 99 rubies, whatever it is in your currency, it's still 99. And then we've got me and Tequila's going through the squad. Then we've got all your build up to the Brentford game, and then we've got the watch along. We've got the watch along match reactions for Brentford, and then we have then final score on the next day, player ratings as well. So tomorrow we've got a busy day. Tomorrow we've got 1 o'clock. We've got Irish Lads Talk Spurs. Me and Mr. Harris. 4 o'clock we've got the player rating show, and then 8 o'clock we've got the fan show, and then Thursday we have at 8 o'clock. Thursday we have Irish Lads Talk Spurs, and then our show at 8. Tomorrow we have 3 o'clock play ratings, and then 8 o'clock we got the fan show. So do join us for that, guys. Tequila, where can people find you, bud?
Obviously, you can find me on a great channel here and at the Play Pouch, which is a little gaming channel with myself, Com in the chat, a couple of my other mates, a bunch of 40-year-old idiots, nerds, other than me, he's cool. And there should be some South Park coming up soon enough, gents. Thanks again.
I've enjoyed today, Tequila. Thank you so much, bud. So we're back tonight at 7:45. Join me at 7:45 for the watch along. Can Tottenham do the unbeatable and win a game, or will Thomas Frank be sacked tonight? Join us. But Tequila, take us out as you always do, bud. Go into your inner Aussie and bring it out.
Challenge the force of Ange. Okay, so Guitari Prince, listen up, mate. If you sponsor this channel, Dermo will put an Arsenal picture in the background for every single stream in his underwear, wearing Arsenal underwear, mate. I'll make it happen. You know, it makes sense. It's just 2 years, mate. It's just your demo is.
Is season 2 better than season 3?
Not as good as season 4, mate. Next year, mate. I'm coming back.
Oh, God, on that bombshell. See you later. Come on, you Spurs.
Eyes on the prize.